Fiancee, 31F, has spent the last 3 months caring for her very sick mother, leaving me, 33M, and our daughter, 4F, at home. Lately she has been really cagey about when she plans to come home, and seems insulted I would even ask that. I, 33M / love my fiancé, 31F / we have been a couple for almost 7 years now. Originally we were supposed to be married in July, but due to COVID the wedding was cancelled. We currently have a 4-year-old daughter who I love. In early August my fiancé got a phone call from the hospital informing us that her mother is in a coma after suffering from most likely a stroke. They aren't sure. She was found by a neighbor 24 hours after it occurred, and apparently she smashed her head pretty hard against the floor. My wife is from Canada, and I am American. We currently live in SF. Her mother lives in Toronto, which is quite far away. In October her mother woke up from her coma, however there was a fair amount of damage, such that she is pretty much currently confined to a wheelchair and is having severe issues with her body. She is supposed to be having therapy, however that is apparently limited due to COVID. My fiancé is pretty much acting as a full-blown caretaker for her mother currently. This has led to major problems. Our daughter is really hurt by her mom not being around. The first few couple of weeks were rough, but she normalized. However lately she is becoming increasingly upset and almost vengeful towards mom. Then when mom didn't even phone her on her birthday, she now thinks mom is stupid and won't back down from that. My wife is the breadwinner for our household by a lot. While her company gave her a fair amount of free time off, she has been taking an unpaid leave of absence. This is hurting our financial situation pretty badly right now. While we can survive for a few more months, I alone cannot shoulder our entire financial responsibility. I have asked her several times what exactly is the plan going forward with her mother. She has pretty much told me she doesn't know, but she isn't leaving until she is either 100% never going to happen, or she can get her mother into a care facility, which is also a huge mess. About 2 weeks ago I put my foot down, after she missed our daughter's birthday. Pretty much told her we need to figure something out now. She got so upset at me over the phone that we basically did not talk for 4 days. We ended up reconciling and she said she would come back by the end of the month. Then today she told me she now plans to stay until January 12th, which is when she might be able to get her mother into a long-term care facility. The thing is, I don't really know what I am supposed to do. My fiance's sister lives 30 minutes away from her mother, but she isn't talking to her mom right now. Mom apparently has huge issues with her being gay, leaving my fiancé as the only one who seems to be in any position to care for her. Her sister has pretty much said she doesn't care if mom dies. I am also somewhat upset, as in some way I feel she is treating this as an extended vacation of some sort. Every other day she is meeting up with her old friends from university / high school / etc. and posting about it on Facebook / Instagram. She also does not seem to even be trying to work remotely at all, which personally I think is a bad idea. Our communication is pretty bad right now. She originally promised to call me / our daughter every day before her bedtime. That rapidly turned into a couple times a week, now to a single phone call on the weekend. My daughter is being vengeful and doesn't want to talk to her really. We text a lot, but I will be honest, her replying to messages has been really spotty, and 95% of the time lately I am the one initiating all conversations. I am tired, and I don't really know where this is going. Can someone help me? Also sorry if this came off ranting. It has just been really heavy on my heart. My parents seem really confused by this situation, and my mom is pretty insulted, especially how my fiancé is treating our daughter. Too long didn't read. Wife went to take care of her sickly mother, but is being really cagey about when she plans to return home. Our daughter is devastated by the absence of mom, and I personally am having doubts about when she plans to come back. To explain, / she is actually my wife. Our wedding was cancelled, but we did sign the paperwork to get married. Then the issue with her mother happened. I haven't gotten used to that at all yet. / I sent her a message asking to talk, and she looked at it but has not responded. I tried to be supportive, but also reiterated the fact that her daughter is really disappointed. / our daughter is being really fussy tonight, so I will try to respond to questions best I can. / update / We had a long conversation that frankly hurt a lot a few hours ago. Her mother was re-hospitalized after a seizure, and COVID is apparently making a mess of everything. Most long-term care facilities are not accepting new residents currently due to COVID. Her mother is also adamantly refusing to be admitted to any sort of long-term care facility and basically wants her daughter to take care of her from now on. She also admitted she really doubts her work is going to keep allowing this extended leave of absence, as apparently they want her to come back to work by the end of the month at latest. So apparently if push comes to shove she will just let them fire her, and see what happens. Which really puts us in a really awful situation. I tried to be more supportive as recommended, but I told her it was not fair that she ignored our daughter's birthday, and the fact she is calling once a week now. She got very upset, and pretty much said that both me and our daughter are being far too needy right now and she doesn't have the time or energy to deal with us. She wants me to be a completely solo parent until she can figure out what to do with her mother. But she has no idea when that is going to happen. She also said she is going to call less from now on because it is simply too exhausting. I got upset that apparently she can see friends and has time to post on Instagram/Facebook, but not call us. She told me that she just finds us too needy and are always asking for answers that she doesn't have answers to, and that is exhausting. She also did mention that apparently most of these friends are basically coming directly to her to visit, and she isn't really going out. I tried to bring up other things such as how are we going to pay for our mortgage, etc. It turned into I don't care, you need to figure out. I finally asked if she actually intended on coming home, and she said yes, but she has no idea when that will be. It could be in a month, or it could be in a year. But she is the only one who cares for her mother right now, so her hands are tied. I am exhausted after all this, and I feel more confused. Wow, I'm not sure I know what to say, but my thoughts are this. If your fiancé is out visiting people and socializing extensively, then her mother doesn't need round-the-clock care. Your partner is misleading you. If she doesn't care enough to call her own daughter on her birthday, or more than once a week, yet she socializes all the time, then there's a big issue. I think her mom's illness is an excuse to be away from your daughter and you because of deeper problems in your relationship, or her mental health. She sounds sick of being a partner, mother and breadwinner. Talk to her again. Outline all of these things in a frank conversation and ask her what's really going on. She has abandoned her daughter and doesn't really seem to care. That's quite odd. All you can do is continue to try and talk to her, and if nothing improves, leave her. Is her mother at a hospital or at home? If she's at the hospital, they have a social worker who deals with finding placement. If they cannot find placement, the person stays in the hospital until a suitable discharge plan can be made. If your wife took her mom home, she's made a big error, and you're never going to find a place to take her. She needs to make a plan, but none of the options are good because the situation her mom is in sucks, and will not get better. So this is actually something I asked. Apparently after her mother was healthy enough, she was sent home due to the COVID crisis. She has a social worker, but the mother is basically telling her to pound sand, and apparently there isn't anything that can be done in that situation. Instead, my wife is trying to get her into a private long-term care facility that her mother has semi-agreed to, which at the same time I am struggling to understand how we will afford. You need to basically message your fiancé and tell her this current arrangement isn't working for you or your daughter, and you need to talk to work it out. I'm sorry that her mother is in such a bad place right now, and I'm sure she's dealing with a lot of stress, but this obviously isn't a viable option for your family. I'd note, her seeing friends might not be her taking a vacation and might just be her accessing an existing support network close by. But also, the GTA is a hotspot for COVID-19 right now, so she should really not be going out a lot if she's seeing her sick mother. The biggest thing right now is you need a solid plan. With the pandemic, things are already uncertain, and I can't imagine the situation for all of you right now. Maybe she can even work part-time from home to help out with some income from the family, and talk to her about the lack of communication between her and the family. Really drive home that she missed her own daughter's birthday and the rift this is causing between them. This could have lasting damage to their relationship, and could give your daughter abandonment issues. Possibly even suggest therapy if she's struggling with her commitments to her mother and her family. If she isn't willing to listen/compromise, or she gets defensive, what would you want to do? Is this something you would break up for? She is not coming home. That's the only thing I can take away from what is going on, with her being sparse with contact, especially surrounding your daughter and her seemingly newfound singles existence from her social media. Granted, we are only hearing one side of this story, but the overall takeaway from all of this is that she has effectively abandoned you and your daughter and has permanently moved back to Canada. If I were you, I'd starting seriously looking into a formal separation and speak to a lawyer about looking into some form of permanent custody of your daughter, as well as ongoing child support from your wife. If she has the greater earning capacity that is taken into consideration, and the threat of child support for your daughter and alimony for you may be enough to shake some sense into her. She may want and enjoy her freedom, but if it comes a cost, she may change her mind very quickly. But looked at this objectively, she is not coming back. Did she actually say that her 4-year-old daughter was needy? Of course she is. She is a child who misses her mother. Oh my god, your wife, what on earth is wrong with her? This right here would have been the deal breaker for me as well. To call her own daughter to needy and miscalling her on her birthday, fuck that, I'd be calling a lawyer for a divorce. My 22F sister, 19F, sent me a text telling me that family isn't optional and that she wants me to be more present, but I'm kind of pissed off about it. I'd where to begin, but I'll start with some basic background info. I am the product of a one-night stand. I was raised by my mom and her, now ex-husband, who adopted me at birth. I had a good childhood for the most part, but now I'm LC with my adoptive dad, very close with my mom and my sister T, 19F, and I tolerate each other. I connected with my bio dad BD when I was 20 after one of his daughters I found me on Instagram and wanted to get to know me. BD has 3 kids other than me. I 19F, N16F and M12M. I started spending time with BD, his fiancee and my half-siblings. They're nice people, but I just can't handle more than keeping them at arm's length. My BD likes to fix things on my car. I'm pretty sure it's out of guilt, but I really appreciate it. They give me gifts for Christmas and my B-Day, and they like to make sure I'm fed. I never ask for these things. They also don't go out of their way to invite me over or anything anymore. I usually have to ask them if they want to have a movie night or something. I must mention that I am pretty severely mentally ill, so I sometimes withdraw from everybody other than my mom for varying periods of time, but I generally let them know if it's happening. I just never know how long it will last. It's been a difficult year and I've disappeared a lot for long periods of time since I suffered some head injuries in March. They've only seen me 2 or 3 times since early May, but I still talk to them now and again via text, social media, etc. And I've remembered all of their days too. Tonight I decided to send me a text telling me that she has noticed a pattern of me being present and then gone and then back again for months at a time. Family isn't/shouldn't be optional. If I'm going to be around, it needs to be for the long run, not just my B-Day, Christmas, or when something on my car needs fixing, because I'm welcome to the rest of their lives and preferably vice versa as well. Told her these main points. They're welcome to extend invites because I'm not comfortable just dropping by and I don't like having to ask all the time. All of them, in many ways, are strangers to me, and on some level they always will be. I'm often uncomfortable, especially with extended family. Family-themed gifts and events upset me. I resent the obligatory feelings and ideas around family because I don't believe in blind familial loyalty. She's out of line telling me that family isn't optional because I've been optional since the day I was born. I'm mentally ill and I struggle just to take care of myself day to day, so socializing isn't a priority. I'm a pretty solitary person by nature. I do not and will never have the capacity to be consistently present. I'm sorry. I haven't heard back yet, but I'm sure I will. I don't think I was too harsh, but I'm a little worried that she'll be upset by what I said. Her message was very out of the blue and it really bothered me. I don't think it's fair of her to make such demands to me. Where do I go from here? My 21F sister, 17, broke lockdown, cheated on her boyfriend, 25, and told everyone he was abusive and slept with me. Title was supposed to say he slept with me, so not my sister. So the title is a wild ride and needs some backstory. Back in January we found out my sister was seeing someone and he became homeless. I don't know the circumstances around that, and unemployed. She offered him a place to stay for a few days/weeks until he can get a job nearby and into some housing. Fast forward a few weeks and he had basically moved in. My parents did allow it. He's become my family, although I still don't fully like him. Age gap and moving in while I was away. He's been very good to my sister and we thought had made her grow up a lot. My sister has a lot of issues. She has anger issues and she's very manipulative. We warned him that she was like this, and that she rejected any help offered to her. But over the age of 16 there isn't much my parents can force. So fast forward to this week. My country is in a minor lockdown. So I'm away from boyfriend for the next 3 weeks and stuck at home as we are not allowed to see other households outside our bubble, which is my older sister and her friend staying with her due to a divorce and her trying to get a house. I know it's messy, but Lord, it's been a long year. Yesterday her boyfriend went to work and she went out with him to get some lunch. She hadn't been back, which isn't unusual as she'll sit in the car on her phone all day if she doesn't have college, so we didn't think anything of it. 9 PM rolls around and she says they're on a break, that he says she's too bitchy to everyone and really awful and mean and manipulative, to which I said yes she is, and if she doesn't grow up and work on that she's going to lose him. She smiled, said I know, and said she was staying at a friend's tonight to give him some space and will be back tomorrow, and that she phoned his mum. He gets back from work at about 10:30, finds her not home, and can't get through to her. He spoke to his mum and is staying with her for a few days until his next shift. 45-minute drive. His work is 8-minute walk from mine. My older brother managed to get a hold of her and the truth came out from the bloke she's staying with. He's one, cheating on her boyfriend with a guy who just in the last 3 months knocked another 17-year-old up, even though he has a wife and kid too. She's been telling people at college that he beats her and doesn't let her see any friends, and 3, that she's been kicked out because he slept with me, and that I cheated on my boyfriend of 7+ years. Now we're all livid. This guy shouldn't have gotten involved with at the time, 16-year-old, but holy shit, he doesn't deserve that. He doesn't know she cheated yet, but I'm pretty sure he suspects it. He doesn't have anywhere else to live, and my sister only cares about herself. We've tried talking, getting her a therapist, going through the police due to a previous truancy and involvement in what is known as county lines. She was with another older guy for 3 days hours away without telling us, who was involved in drugs and prostitution. Now we're not sure what to do. If we kick her out she has nowhere to live, but by fucking God she deserves it. We can't just kick him out cause of her, that's unfair on him. Has anyone got any advice as to where we can go about it? TL, doctor. My younger sister cheated on her boyfriend who lives with us with a married man during lockdown, told everyone he's an abusive pos even though he's not, and brought me into it that I cheated on my boyfriend of 7 years with him, so she got kicked out. No idea what to do now. Guys, stop bringing up the age gap. I know it's bad. I know it's grooming in a lot of situations. Unfortunately, she's the main issue here. The age gap definitely is not good, but she's pathologically lying to get her own way, which is why I asked for help. I have replied saying it was addressed day one, and I still do not agree with it at all. In fact, it makes home life very awkward, and I actually lived with my sister January to March where lockdown happened and I had to move home, because I was uncomfortable and my parents knew it. Edit 2. He's a nonce, yes. As I have said, I am not okay with it. I left home as best I could cause of it and cannot leave this situation I am uncomfortable with. She is a victim, yes, but she's also an abuser. Two can be true. Sure, she might be lashing out, but before he came on the scene, before she was assaulted, she was an abuser to me and my family. My parents failed her, but I cannot do anything about that. She's a piece of work before all of this, and she relishes in the fact that she hurts people. I have been battered to the point I can't move my arm by her when she was 8. How do you think that makes me feel? My parents just told me to not retaliate, so I didn't. My post was asking how I deal with it. What can we as a family do, as well as me personally? Now I'm seeing removing myself cause I am just continuing the abuse is the best decision, so thank you for that. Also, upon asking her, she feels no remorse for what she did. She doesn't want to go to therapy. She doesn't want to change. She doesn't want to go to the doctors or anything. Yeah, we failed, and I live with that for the rest of my life. I won't be responding anymore, but you're all right. If she's being groomed and abused, then yeah, he needs to be kicked out. The situation is, however, that she has been an abuser since childhood, and that apparently didn't subside like we thought. I'm gonna go now. Thanks for the comments, the advice, and the harsh criticism. It was needed. We are bad people for letting it get this far.